everyone. Welcome to the Stoop. This is the Third Baptist Church of Chicago Youth Ministry production. Today, we're going to talk about what it means to be a black man in America. I got two special guests with me. I got my homie, friend, and brother, William Calloway, activist, Christian, man of God, all of those things. And I got my man, Vernell, that's in the building. Uh, we just want to talk about, kind of get some stuff off our chest because I believe black men rarely have the space to talk about all that they go through and all that they see. Before we get started, as usual, I want to bring up a familiar Bible passage. It's found in Luke chapter 23, verse 26. Luke chapter 23 and 26 is real quick. It says, as Jesus was being led away, some soldiers grabbed a hold of a man named Simon who was from Cyrene. He was coming in from the fields, but they put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. In this text, Jesus is headed toward Calvary. He's headed to his final destination where he will give up his life for you and I. He's carrying a cross, and the cross gets too heavy for him. And as he's carrying the cross up this hill, they call a man named Simon from Cyrene. Now, it's something interesting in the Bible. Whenever they give a person's name and their hometown, they're trying to tell you something. And right here, when they say the man Simon from Cyrene helped him to carry his cross, they want to let us know that this man is from Africa. He's from Northern Africa. You know what that means? He looks like you and I. He has black skin. He looks like us. He has coarse hair like us. He has full lips. He has a nose and cheeks like us. He's a black man. And Jesus, who has been up all night through trials, he's been stripped and beaten, and he's carrying this wooden cross that's getting too heavy for him to carry. And he asked, the Romans mandate a black man to help him carry his cross. I want to suggest that black people, especially black men, have been helping Jesus carry crosses since that moment. We've Our cross has no salvific effects. That means that the cross that black men and black people in this country bear can't produce salvation. It can't atone for their sins. When you see images of George Floyd with the knee to his neck being held down for minutes till he can no longer breathe on television, when you see Tamir Rice, 12-year-old, being gunned down at a playground, when you see Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin killed way before they can reach full manhood, as a black man, you can't help but say, am I next? Can that happen to me too? I want to chime right here to my friend William Calloway. If you don't know William Calloway, Will was pivotal, or was important in releasing the tape that released the Laquan McDonald murder. Laquan McDonald was shot 16 times by Jason Van Dyke, and Will was important in helping getting those tapes released to the public so we can see the corruption and the racism in the Chicago Police Department. Will, what did that whole experience feel like, and how has that affected you as a black man? How does that shape your faith? Man, if you can just speak on it in a roundabout way.
Yeah, I think how it shaped my faith, it allowed me to really, think about the scripture in the book of Micah when it talks about, walking humbly with thy God, you know what I mean, and to seek justice. And God is a God of justice. The word justice is stated in the Bible probably over 100 times, and talks about righteousness. It just allowed me to really understand how God can use all of us to be an instrument. I know that I was instrumental for being into getting the release of that video, but all of us in our own life can find a way to be instrumental in seeking justice. And I think my faith, well, ain't no thing. Without my faith, I probably would have never even got on this avenue, on this path, this road, into social justice. It's completely because of the Lord, completely because of Jesus Christ that I am even on this path and this avenue. So all glory and praises unto him for that. In an earthly sense, as a black man, as I see the things that's going on in our community, the things that I've seen that's going on with African Americans in this country, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing. It's so unsettling because as you were saying, and you was talking about Trayvon Martin, you was talking about Laquan McDonald, you was talking about so many other different lives that have been lost at the hands of white law enforcement officers.
Right.
All I can do is sit and think about all those images that we are, as a country, as a world, have been forced to see. The brutal images, modern day lynches, if you will, of these young black men and black women across the country.
Right.
And the type of effect that takes on us, on me, subconsciously. And I know my faith has to empower me to continue to fight righteously, and not worldly, not carnally, but righteously after seeing all these images. It's definitely hard. It's not for the faint of heart. Sometimes I find myself going into a dark place.
Right.
After so many years of doing this work.
Right.
And just trying to find a balance, an equilibrium, right? To stay passionate, but not overwhelmed and overconsumed.
Right. Right.
And that's kind of the challenge I think it is for me being on the front line.
Yeah.
Caring about the issue so much, but not letting it affect me to the point that I'm paralyzed mentally. I'm paralyzed spiritually because we don't see no light at the end of the tunnel. We don't see, like, where's this going? Where's our country going? Where's our world going?
Right.
When we talk about Black Lives Matter, what does that really mean, right? And I can honestly say this role and this journey, this calling, if you will, has been a challenge for me. But I wouldn't have changed anything for nothing in the world. That's one thing that I can honestly say. No matter what has happened, the wins and losses, I wouldn't change nothing. But without a doubt, it has taken effect on me as a black man in the city of Chicago, on the south side.
For sure. Vernell, now you're in high school.
Yes.
Sophomore.
Yes.
You aware what's going on in the country. How does that affect you mentally? What do you think about when you see images of black men being gunned down by police officers throughout the country?
I think that living in the society that we live in today, it didn't turn into almost a norm for me to see. And it gets shocking every time that I do see it. But for me, it's like I can barely walk out the house, knowing what's going on outside, like knowing where to go. I can't go certain places because of the violence that's happening around the city.
Right.
So
right.
I be looking and I see this stuff on the news and I think, what if I go somewhere and that happened to me? What if I'm next? What if one of my friends next? What if my brother next? What if my sister's next? It could be anybody that be out here next.
Right.
And I don't want to be that next person.
Right. That's interesting that I hear both of you guys saying those images and stories make you think like, am I next? When you look at the cross and Roman crosses, they would hang them high enough so you can see them no matter where you were in the city, because they were a deterrent. They wanted to detour any future criminals from doing the same thing that those people did. So if you had the temptation to steal, or the temptation to kill you, or the temptation to say you were God, you could die like that too. And they would keep their bodies on these high crosses throughout the day as a deterrent to keep would-be criminals from being criminals. And the same thing that 13-year-old walking Jerusalem streets would think is the same thing that you guys said today. Can that be me too? Can that be my body one day on the cross too? Will, do you do anything for your mental health to keep these images and traumatic stories from just messing up your psyche? Like, how do you care for your mental health in a society that seems to not care about black men?
Yeah, that's a great question. And to be honest, I've like entertained a few different things. I think that um, there's a stigmatism around mental health when it comes to black men, and I participated in that stigmatism. Like, oh man, nah, I ain't going to therapy. I ain't going to counseling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're black, you know, it's just a stigmatism. But now that I'm older and as an adult, as a 31-year-old black man, you know, you start to think about how beneficial counseling might be, how beneficial therapy might be, you know, and those are some things that I'm definitely thinking about. I fast a lot, I pray a lot. I ask God to detox my spirit from a lot of things that might have been implanted because of the things that we see. But you know, it's difficult because you know, statistically black men are being you raise a great point about how they wanted to make sure that they instilled that fear in the people that would see them on the cross.
Right.
And I think it's the same way with some of this activity by law enforcement in inner black city communities, because it's really just really as a sign of urban terrorism. Terrorism is to install fear. That's the whole purpose of being a terrorist. And the same thing is what some of these white law enforcement officers do. They kill us, and then they do it where your mother can see, your family can see, your community can see, your nation can see, and they do it consistently without any accountability to install that fear.
Right.
So like, not only this is a modern day lynching, you even went more ancestral than that this is a modern day crucifixion.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is the modern day crucifixion, that they can allow the whole city, state, country see us.
Yeah.
See us with their knee on our necks. See us getting shot 16 times, walk away.
Right.
See us play with toy guns and get shot.
Right.
See us walking with our friends on the west side of Chicago and then just shoot out their car and shoot one of us and fatally injure us in the head. I'm talking about Rakia Boyd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But to answer your question about my mental health and what I'm doing, I'm trying to find and entertain things on what's the best solution for me. Vulnerability is hard, like opening up, talking, and like giving somebody that access to how you feel. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's easy, way easier than God, because you can't have with the Lord. He knows everything about you. Your hairs are
You
numbered.
can be more naked.
You can be more naked.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he knows. So that's a way easier conversation. The only caveat in that is that when he speaks, he don't speak right away sometimes. And then when he does speak, sometimes it's a still voice that you have to be very silent in order to hear. So I try to hear his voice because he's the best counselor and therapist you can ever have.
Right.
So I try to just subject myself to his leadership and to help my mental health.
Man, yeah, that's good. That's good. The recent case in Kenosha, what's the guy named Jacob Blake? What's his name?
Yeah, Jacob.
Jacob Blake. I think that story was a parallel and picture of how America protects whiteness and kills blackness. You have Jacob Blake goes to break up a flight, kids in the car, get shot in the back 7 times. They, Kenosha residents, they stand up, they protest. White boy from Illinois comes with a fully automatic loaded weapon, rifle, walks past the police and ends up shooting. I believe he killed 2 people. And so a white boy armed is less criminalized, is less offensive than a black man unarmed with kids in the car. And I think that's a parallel of how this country continues to protect whiteness and pathologize, or basically, let me say it this way: blackness is death, whiteness is life. That's what they want us to believe. That's what they want us to believe. Vernell, I know you in school And I know a lot of schools are starting to do this. Do they talk about racism and race in your school yet? In your class?
Not really.
Wow. Wow. You gotta make that happen, bro. Because here it is. If we don't start having the conversations at your age, that means that things, white supremacist curriculum can easily get infiltrated in the classroom and taught to y'all because it's just normal classroom talk. It's normal curriculum or whatever. So man, I want to encourage you when you get back to school, y'all got to start having these conversations, especially because you go to all boys school, right? Oh, was it military academy, Bronzeville Military
No,
Academy?
it's Morgan Park.
Morgan Park. Okay. But that's definitely still a place where y'all should be having that conversation. How do you think you and your friends feel about this? Are y'all having this conversation amongst yourselves?
We just had a conversation with it literally yesterday. And I think society has generalized black people to be bad in general. When they see a young man walking on the street, dreads, they think like he's a gangbanger, drug dealer, something. He gotta be something bad. Cause he got dreads, he black, and the way he come out the house.
Right.
And it's the way that someone approaches you, someone walks, someone talks. They look at all that and generalize us as bad people. I wouldn't necessarily say we bad people for just trying to live our life the way we want to live our life.
Right. You're just trying to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think that conversations like this need to happen, especially amongst our peers, because like a lot of times we'll talk about the incident, but we won't talk about how it affected us. You know what I'm saying? Like many times you and I have been in the car dealing with LaCroix McDonald. We ain't never sit and ask each other like, bro, how you feel about it? Because you're so busy working, you're so busy protesting, you're so busy organizing, and we never deal with the psychological effects of seeing black death on the street. That's our time, guys. I want to thank my guests, William Calloway and Vernell, for hanging out with me on the Stoop. Be on the lookout for our next episode. We'll be hitting you with shortly. We want to ask you guys to follow the Third Baptist Youth Ministry Facebook page and support us, like and share this. God bless you. I love you. Peace.